I served this country with my eyes open. Now I live in darkness, and somehow, that's still not enough for them. They didn't care that I'm blind. They didn't care that my dog helps me survive. All they saw was a rule, and they tried to break me with it. But what Karen didn't know was that I used to be a sniper. I don't miss, not then, not now. And this time, I was aiming for justice. This is the story of how a furious HOA tried to ban a man's only support system, and how that man turned out to be their worst nightmare. They say home is where you heal. That was the hope when I moved into the quiet little neighborhood of Sagebrush Pines. After losing my sight from a combat injury in Kandahar, I wasn't asking for pity, just a place where I could live peacefully, walk with my service dog Ajax, and begin adjusting to the world in total darkness. But that dream shattered the morning. I found a violation notice pinned to my front door. Unauthorized animal remove immediately or face daily fines. I stood there gripping the letter, my hands shaking. Ajax, my loyal yellow Labrador, nudged my leg, sensing my distress. This dog wasn't just my companion, he was my lifeline. He guided me through unfamiliar paths, woke me during night terrors, and even stopped me from walking into traffic more than once. I called the HOA. A woman named Karen Delaney, the association president, answered with that ice-cold corporate tone I've heard too many times before. We've had complaints. Large animals are against HOA policy. Only small dogs under 30 pounds are allowed. Yours is a liability. I calmly explained Ajax's role. I even offered medical documentation. Her response, "It's not personal, sir. Rules are rules." But to me it was personal, because blindness doesn't stop at rules. It lives with me every second of every day, and Ajax is the only reason I can live independently. That night, I sat on my porch, Ajax curled beside me. The quiet breeze gave no answers, but deep down, I knew one thing: I wasn't going to let them win. Karen wasn't done. Over the next week, I received escalating fines, $50 a day. Then came the letters, threats of legal action, eviction, and photos of Ajax labeled unauthorized presence. Neighbors began whispering. A few supported me, quietly offering help, but most stayed silent, scared of Karen's wrath. She ran the HOA like a tyrant with a clipboard. Then one morning, something worse happened. I opened my door and Ajax didn't come when I called. Panic surged through me. After a frantic search, I found him locked behind the side gate. Someone had lured him out and shut the gate. He was whimpering, confused. I reported it to the HOA. No response. Karen had crossed a line. I called an attorney, but they warned me. HOAs are slippery. They know how to drag things out, and most people give up. But I wasn't most people. I used to lie in wait for insurgents in the desert. I trained with the best. Patience, precision, and pressure. That's how you win wars. And I was about to wage mine. I started collecting data, recordings, letters, timestamps, and security footage I'd recently installed after the Ajax incident. I recorded Karen's voice, refusing my request for a hearing. I captured a board meeting where she joked about that blind guy and his mutt. Then I contacted a friend, a retired JAG officer I served with. He reviewed my case and said, "You've got them in a chokehold." Together, we drafted a formal complaint to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. We cited ADA violations, disability discrimination, emotional distress, and retaliation. But we didn't stop there. I sent the story with all my evidence to a national veterans advocacy group. Within days, the headline exploded on social media: "Disabled veteran fined for having service dog by HOA faces eviction." The internet ignited. Veterans across the country rallied. News vans appeared. Karen went radio silent, but the damage was done. HUD responded swiftly. Investigators were dispatched. The HOA received a formal notice of violation. Karen tried to claim I'd never provided documentation until they played her recorded call denying my hearing. Fines were frozen, my eviction cancelled. Then came the press conference. I stood there, Ajax by my side, shades on, reporters flashing cameras. I told the world, this dog sees for me. And today, he helped the world see what HOA abuse really looks like. The neighborhood turned on Karen. Board members resigned. Sponsors pulled out of Karen's law firm. where she worked part-time. Her pristine image cracked, and the woman, who once ruled with a clipboard, was reduced to silence. She was voted out in a landslide special election. It took weeks for things to settle, but eventually, peace returned. Neighbors brought over baked goods, offered apologies, even thanked me for standing up. One elderly couple said, "We were afraid to speak up for years, until you did." Ajax was now not just my hero, but the community's mascot. Children asked to pet him, and I taught them about service animals. I even got a call from the mayor's office. They were organizing a new committee on HOA reform, and they wanted me on it. Me, the blind man with a sniper's past, helping fix what nearly destroyed him. I don't see faces anymore, but I feel Ajax's wagging tail, the warmth of handshakes, and the respect in people's voices. Karen never apologized, but I didn't need her to, because some victories don't need her permission, they only need courage. When they tried to take my lifeline, they didn't expect resistance, but they forgot something critical. You don't train a sniper to surrender, and while I may have lost my sight, I never lost my vision of what's right. To anyone out there battling injustice, remember, the smallest voice can still